Hello and welcome back for another episode of Financial Freedom by 40. Some of our regular viewers might have noticed that we have been a bit absent from here the last couple of weeks. We haven't had our regular weekly episodes. Now, some of you might know that the reason for this is that we have had a car issue. At the end of our last weekly episode, we were about to head off and take on the Gibb River Road. We went out that way and the car started to make a noise that we weren't happy with, so we decided to turn around and come back to Broome. We hadn't quite felt up to doing an episode the last couple of weeks, but now we are settled in again in Broome and we thought we would give you a bit of an update, including what we've been up to in our time here at Broome. But before we do, let's just go back to where we were a couple of weeks ago and fill you in on what was the start of our journey towards the Gibb River Road.
Are we on the Gibb?
No.
Not yet. We're on our way to the Gibb. We're stopping to have a look at the prison Boab tree, and so apparently they used to use this tree to tie up Indigenous people that they had imprisoned, I suppose, that they'd, for various reasons. I guess the signs are going to tell us here. Before Derby was established in 1883, Aboriginal people were kidnapped from the West Kimberley. The kidnappers, known as blackbirders, were settlers who were connected with the pearling industry. They wanted divers and workers for the pearling boats. They rounded people up, put them in chains, and marched them to the coast. Some may have held their captives at the Boab prison tree while they waited for a boat. Early pastoralists held the blackbirders because they thought that removing the young men would guarantee peaceful behaviour from the older ones left behind. The Aboriginal people resisted. The prisoners brought to Derby via the Boab prison tree came from as far away as Fitzroy Crossing. They generally walked 24 to 48 kilometres each day in chains, camping overnight at stations, waterholes or wells. They often spent the last night of the journey at Yeda Station or Nobby's Well. Some would have rested at the prison Boab tree the next day.
Oh,
It is huge.
it looks like it was like inside of it. Hold on.
I don't know, we'll read the signs and find out.
They can't go outside, but they could have done it inside. So hollow it looks on the inside.
Wow, look at the size of it. It's the biggest one we've seen so far, isn't it? Once again, people have all carved their names into it. So we were just stopped up at the Boab tree, and there's a tour group here, or tour group just left here, and the tour host bought the leftovers of one of the pods. So these are the pods that are on the trees. So that one over there you can see has got the little pods on it. So she brought this over, and the people on the tour were trying the fruit off this. So she bought this for us to have a go at once they were finished with it. So we've tried, this is a little piece of the fruit here. So it's kind of like a citrusy flavour, quite tart, but it apparently it's got lots of vitamin C in it, so it's very good for you. You can see the big seeds in it, so we all got to try some. The kids weren't so keen, but I wouldn't buy it to eat it if it was in a shop, but it's still pretty cool to have been able to have a go at it. The famous Gibb River Road sign. Got to stop for our photo. So we got our little snap, and then we went on to Birdwood Downs Station. Gibb River Road, day one. So today we've made it from Broome through to Birdwood Downs Station.
Yep.
So we stopped in briefly at Derby, just the Visitors Information Centre, to get some information on the road conditions. So we got this really good map, so good place to stop in for some extra information on road conditions and distances and that kind of thing if you're doing the Gibb. So not too much of a hectic day today, all sealed road today, so apart from the one little bit that Google Map took us on that we didn't have to go on.
Thanks.
when we left
Or Apple Maps.
or Apple Maps, yeah, when we left Broome. But yeah, so pretty relaxed day today, nothing too hectic, just getting ready, packing up, and
Good chance to
moving
get the
here.
fuel tanks all full in Derby before you get the horrendous fuel prices across the Gibb. So, and the sealed road's pretty good so far. So
yeah, so tomorrow might be our first bit of dirt road. So yeah,
finish the sealed road and head towards Winjana Gorge, I think. So
Yep, so day one done. Despite us seeming pretty optimistic in our day one of the Gib chat, after this we had a bit of a talk about the car situation. The car started making a noise while we were on our way here, and we weren't too happy with it, to be honest, and in the morning we decided that we would take the car and get it looked at by a mechanic in Derby, which was not too far from where we had camped up. Ryan spoke to a mechanic who said that he suspected it could be an injector issue, but that they couldn't help us at that point in time. So we made the call to head back towards Broome, where there are a number of mechanics, and it's just a generally larger town where there is a little bit more support. So we figured that would be the best place for us to go to get some more help in getting the issue sorted. We're back at Camel Beach. We're back at Cable Beach, not Camel Beach, for another sunset. So we're doing a few sunsets at the moment since we've got some extra time here while we're waiting for the car to be fixed. So waiting for some parts to arrive and waiting for the car to be fixed. So we thought we'd come and enjoy another beautiful sunset down here at Cable Beach. And there's heaps of people here. So it's Monday night and there's cars all the way down the beach. The camels are coming back up the beach, so one of the sunset camel tours. So we'll wait and see if we can capture the camels coming past shortly. And here are the camels as they made their way past us along the beach. Of course, in our previous episode we did do the camel rides ourselves, but it's also really cool to capture them as they walk along the beach, and you can just watch them go by as the sun is setting. So we were off to the Gib, and then we've struck a bit of a hitch. So we had left Broome and had sort of a bit of concern that there might have been something going on with the car. We thought we'd drive through to Derby and see if it resolved. We thought we might have had an injector issue, put an injector cleaner through, got to Derby and it hadn't resolved. So we spoke to a mechanic there, spoke to a mechanic here back in Broome, decided that it was better for us to turn around and come back to Broome where there's someone who can help us to work through the issues that we've got here. So we're about to go drop the car off to the mechanic and get the issues sorted. They've ordered some parts for us, so they've come, they've arrived, and so hopefully our best hope is that in the next few days we might be back on the road, but they're pretty busy at the moment, so it might be another week or so before we get the car back. So going to be killing a bit of time in Broome, doing a bit of activities around here. Unfortunately does delay our trip a bit. We're going to have to squish things up at the end, probably on the Queensland end. That's alright, we've been there a couple of times before, so we think we can squish up what we had planned for Queensland, and otherwise it's a fairly easy trip for us back from New Zealand to come back to Queensland and do some of those things again there. So we're finding it a bit frustrating being stuck, not moving anywhere at the moment, but we're doing what we can to keep ourselves entertained, and we'll share a bit of what we're up to in the next week or so while we're here. But we might end up skipping an episode maybe next week because we're not got an awful lot of action at the moment. It's a lot of sitting around the caravan park, enjoying the pool and just trying to keep the boys entertained. It's been quite a lot of fighting, so that's a bit frustrating and difficult, but doing what we can to make it a reasonably enjoyable couple of weeks or so while we are sitting around here waiting. Unfortunately though, the issue with the Bruiser was bigger than we initially thought. After consulting with a number of mechanics, we reached the conclusion that Bruiser needed a full engine change. This was a bit of a shock to the system and not at all what we were expecting, and it was also a massive expense that we hadn't planned on for this trip. We also happened to arrive in Broome at the start of the peak season, so everything here is extremely busy and it's very hard to get a booking for this kind of work that we need to have done. We were able to find a place where we can get repairs done at Port Hedland, which is about 600 kilometres from here, so we ended up putting Bruiser onto a truck and sending him off, and that repair is going to take all in total about a month to be done from the time that all of this ordeal has started. So we're hoping that we will be back on the road again in the next week or so, or depending on how everything goes and how long it takes for parts to arrive. But that is where we're at and why we have spent so long in Broome. But we have been keeping ourselves busy. We've found a lot of things to do, and we will share with you what we have been up to. Thankfully, Broome has a really good bus system, and we've been able to catch the bus from just outside the caravan park where we're staying into the city centre and various other sites around Broome. One of the activities that we did this one particular day was to catch the bus into the library. The library has been a bit of a saviour for us, and we've been able to become members and check out lots of books, so that's been helping to keep us sane. We then, after we'd finished in the library, took a walk down to the Streers Jetty, which is one of the tourist spots in the Chinatown area in Broome. From there we completed the jetty to jetty walk, which takes you from this jetty along to the Town Beach jetty. And along the way you go past an area where there is a colony of bats, and we were hoping that we might get to see a few. They usually come out at dusk, but we were lucky to see one in the trees the day we were there.
They are funny, aren't they?
Oh, something just... Oh, it's a bird. But the flying fox is climbing. It's Dracula.
Yeah.
He's quite hard to see.
They're cute. Hi, Ben.
Oh, you can hear him squeaking. Oh! Ooh!
Aren't you burning up?
Well, we've come down to the Streers Jetty, which is apparently good fishing on a high tide. And it's high tide now in, what is it, about 20 minutes?
Yeah,
25 minutes. So, but this is the state of the situation as it stands. The closest water is down there off the end of the jetty. So apparently the tides do come in quite fast here, but we're not entirely convinced at the moment that it's going to be all up around this jetty by the time high tide is. We will see. There are lots of crabs though. Lots of little crabs down there. We decided we would wait until 4:15, and when 4:15 came and went with no water still under the jetty, we decided that we would move on down to the Town Beach jetty. In the meantime though, we watched some of the planes fly over the jetty towards the airport, which is not too far down the road here. So pretty cool to see them coming in at such close proximity. Just been trying our luck on the Town Beach jetty at Broome to try and catch a fish. We haven't had any luck so far, so we're going to try and walk down here a little bit further along the bay. There's some mangroves down here, so I'm going to give that a go, see if we have any luck down here with our fishing. There were people pulling a few fish in off the jetty, but we haven't had any luck so far, so let's see how we go down here. Did you get a bite there, Ollie?
No, but there's a fish here.
Yeah. Oh look, there's a fish jump just out there. There's fish there. Looks slightly more promising. Pretty sunset. No luck so far, but what a pretty spot to be trying to catch a fish. Look at the sunset on the water. It's almost power coloured. Looks so pretty. Unfortunately, we didn't have any luck on the fish front, but still a lovely spot to watch the sunset. So we've been stuck in Broome now for how long? Almost a month now. And so we've been trying to find things to keep ourselves occupied. We've been going to the library. We've done a lot of sunsets at the beach, loads of, well, basically anything we could do to try and keep ourselves busy. And one of the things we thought of the other day is we've been walking around Broome and we've noticed that there's a lot of recycling, a lot of rubbish around in general, but a lot of the things that are around are recyclable. So we've seen there's heaps and heaps of cans around as we're walking around, because we're doing a lot of walking since we don't have the car at the moment. And so the other day Ollie and I went out for a walk with a bag, and we collected up a big bag of about this size of that one there.
One day.
One morning, and then another day we collected up most of that bag. We've added a couple of our own cans to that as well.
For those three, that was just us leaving from the library to the Coles. Just walking from the library to the Coles, that's a whole bag of 10 cents except for the Gage Rose one.
So what have we decided to do, Ollie?
So we've decided to try and collect as many cans as we can, and so we're trying to aim for about roughly $150, which is 1,500 cans, to take us out for our dinner when we leave here.
Because we want to do a little celebratory dinner to celebrate getting the car back and the fact that we survived a month of just hanging out here and trying to keep ourselves busy. So we've got some that we've been collecting are our own ones, and other ones are ones that we have been collecting out and about.
Just over here, just our ones.
And then we're going to add them all up, aren't we?
Yeah.
We'll add them up and see how many we've got, because each one's worth 10 cents. So we've got a long way to go. So we're going to go for another walk shortly, I think, and try and collect a few more.
For another walk, or you and I'll go to try and find some more.
All right, well let's get them all laid out and we'll see where we get to.
We want to first lay out our own ones. All of our own ones are going to be labelled just one section that's labelled own on our tally chart.
Okay, well you do that and we'll come back
ours.
shortly.
Didn't think that was ours, oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4,
So 28, so 128. So the one bag's got 100 in and 28 in that one. So 128 so far on our tally.
28.
So 128. So what does that work out to?
We'll just go, I'll rule
What's 128 cans though? How many have you collected so far?
$12.80.
$12.80. So we've got a little way to go to get to $150 to take us out for dinner.
One is
What you got?
128.
128. We've got 128 now. So that's $12.80.
Daily.
Yeah. We're gonna get at least 150 a day.
Well, you better get out and start collecting.
We're not gonna get $150 by the time we leave here.
Better go for a walk then, eh?
Yeah, let's go.
How'd you go on your walk there, Ollie?
Oh, we got a bag and a half, maybe.
A bag and a half. So how many? How many did you get, do you reckon? Let's count them. Are you counting?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Surprisingly, this wine bottle's 10 cents.
Is it?
Refundable.
Wow, most wine bottles aren't. Oh, we better get that.
10 cents.
Ah,
Well, that 10.
10, yeah.
11, 12, 13, 14,
I can see like the mozzies swarming on your head.
15, it's okay, I'll get off 16, 17, 18, 19, 26.
26.
$2.60.
Woohoo! And that's on top of the 28 we already had in there.
So that's 54 cans in that bag.
54 in that bag so far.
So that's 5.
Good job.
40. So that bag. So
I don't think we're going to fit 100 in that one, but anyway.
how much is that? 52. No,
Did you write down how
54.
many cans it was?
54. And that was
You just lost count.
54 and then 26.
It seems like, we're making mellow melt, a type of elven cake from a book that me and my brother are reading, so.
So what's the series that you're reading?
Keeper of the Lost Cities.
And where does this recipe come in from?
It's a type of elven, sweet treat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're trying to make it, aren't we?
Yes, you can't get butterscotch here, and this is what it turned out like. So,
But what have we put in there?
marshmallow, sugar, chocolate chips, melted chocolate chips,
All the good stuff.
yeah, all the good stuff.
And now we need to put it in the tin.
Yeah,
Okay, do you want to try to put it in the tin?
it looks very thick.
It does look very thick. Let's see how it
Oh,
goes.
it's gonna go in a bloop.
Yeah, we might have to spread it out a bit. Can you get it in there?
I think I can.
It's pretty thick. Yeah, I'll come and give you a hand and we'll have another look at what it looks like shortly.
Adding more marshmallows.
Yes, so believe it or not, we've already got 2 cups of marshmallows in there. And now we have to sprinkle over another cup of marshmallows, another cup of chocolate chips after already having 2 cups of chocolate chips
3 cups of chocolate
in
chips
there.
now.
Well, it'll be the 3rd cup now. And then we have to pour a can of condensed milk over the top.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know, this must be like a -5 health star rating or something like that.
-6 probably.
It's like sugar with some more sugar and then some more sugar added to that. Who chose this recipe, Zabes?
Me.
It does sound good though, doesn't it, from the book?
Yeah.
The book describes it. As
Although
being,
it's very thick to make, so.
yeah, well, let's see how it turns out because it does look very thick in the tin. See how we go. Alright, on with the chocolate chips. Oh my goodness.
This looks like the best treat I've ever seen.
You're going to be able to only eat the tiniest bit or it's going to make you sick.
Why is it gonna make us sick?
Because there's so much sugar in it. And now you got to put the tin of condensed milk beside you there, Zabe. So you've got to open that up and tip the tin of condensed milk on there. And you got it, muscles?
Yep.
Deep in concentration. Right. And it just says tip that all over it.
This looks so good.
Oh my goodness. It makes me sick just thinking about eating it.
That looks so
All that
good.
sugar.
This looks like the best meal in history.
Spread it all the way over.
That looks like a forest.
You reckon? What kind of forest?
Marshmallow tree forest.
Look at that. Goodness me.
Now we're gonna put this into the oven.
Look at all of that sugary goodness.
Now it's all gonna go melting.
It is. And it goes. Oh yeah. Look at that. Pop it in. Good job. Now we wait.
Yeah. This is our mellow melts and it's finished.
Let's have a closer look at this.
Looks very healthy.
Yeah, really
Very
healthy.
It doesn't look like what I imagined it to be. I imagined it looked like a pavlova.
It's gone all like caramel on the top. And you can see the marshmallows and the chocolate chips.
And it's all condensed milk on the top.
Well, yeah, that's what's gone all caramelly. Should we cut it up and you can taste it?
Yeah.
Zavy, moment of truth.
Is it good?
What do you reckon?
Good.
It's pretty good.
Kind of banana-y.
Banana-y? It's got no bananas in it. And you, Ollie?
I haven't tasted it, but I'm shocked with the amount of mellow melt I've gotten here.
Yeah, well, it's got a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah, really good.
It's good? What does it taste like? What does mellow melt taste
Lots
like?
of caramel melts. It's so good. Marshmallows, chocolate, condensed milk, sugar.
Yes, but what does it taste like?
Goodness.
All right.
That's where we are going to leave you for this week's episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to check in again with us next week. Hopefully we'll have a further update on the progress with the car and keeping our fingers and toes crossed that maybe we might be back on the road then as well. In the meantime, we'll be keeping up with our Cash for Cans challenge and checking out any other sites that we can find in Broome. To make sure you don't miss out on our next episode and any future episodes, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, you can follow along with us on social media at Financial Freedom by 40.